Minister in the Presidency responsible for planning, monitoring and evaluation, Honorable Jeff Radebe, reiterated the support that the South African government has put in place in support of small business development in the country. The following speech was delivered at the NDP 30-day payment Imbizo, which was held at the Empress Palace in Gauteng. The Imbizo aimed at easing relations between entrepreneurs and government departments.
This support takes many forms, from grants, tax break, preferential procurement that has been built into various incentives that has also been put into various legislations. However, we have various rules and practices which can also disadvantage the small business sector, such as red tape, and in particular, the lack of adherence to the payment period, which is 30 days from receipt of a valid invoice. In this regard, small businesses remain vulnerable and disadvantaged against realizing this great potential that they can contribute towards employment and economic growth. Distinguished delegates, we are here this morning to say to you, a small business community, that your government is very much aware of your frustrations and understands your plight. You are a very important stakeholder in the fight against the triple challenges of unemployment, poverty, and inequality. We shall continue as government to put in measures in place to ensure a more favorable environment for your sector to thrive. In terms of the Public Finance Management Act, the Municipal Finance Management Act, various treasury regulations, it is unlawful to pay suppliers beyond the time frame of 30 days. Our government has over the years augmented all these measures and requirements with such measures such as instruction notes and further reporting requirements. The treasury regulations for departments, public entities, our own parliament, have since 2001 at least made sure that this 30-day payment has to be adhered to. So when government officials do not pay within the stipulated 30 days on receipt of a valid invoice, it is expected that accounting officers who have signed performance agreements with their executive authorities need to be charged for financial misconduct. It is therefore very important that the reports should always be forwarded to various executive authorities that must result in consequence management for those defaulting public officials. This matter, it is so serious that our government elevated it to the very highest level, with reports and progress being tabled at various meetings of the Forum of South African Directors General called FOSAD. Our government has indeed adopted a very tough stance on this issue on non-compliance by various errant departments, which must never be tolerated any longer. On the 17th of April 2015, government announced the establishment of a special unit in the Department of Planning, Monitoring and Evaluation, DPME, to tackle this problem of non-payment of suppliers within the stipulated period of 30 days. This special unit operates in a trilateral cooperation with National Treasury, the Department of Public Service and Administration, as well as the Department of Small Business Development. In particular, we work very closely with the Small Enterprise Development Agency, SEDA, on the payment of suppliers. Since the establishment of this special unit, it has attended and resolved hundreds of queries on non-payment and facilitated those payments to suppliers, which has resulted in payment of over 168 million rand. This spotlight that has been put on this issue has resulted in improved levels of compliance, and the peer pressure that is being exerted through various forums in our government has seen many government departments putting measures in place to improve on their compliance requirements. According to the records of the parliamentary hearings on a 30-day payment policy and the challenges that are being faced by various small business entities, the following excerpts that I want to quote summarizes a typical experience on the impact on non-payment on this 30-day period. Ms. Sindisiwe Mbenje, Director, All Connections, had experienced various challenges in getting payment from government. She had started a business in catering and had taken 120 days to get a payment of a mere 2,500 rand in 2008 before she got into training in water reticulation and waste management business. At present, there were some municipalities she no longer did business with because when she claimed her money, she was victimized and excluded from future business. While government wanted to build small businesses, it was also destroying them through this late payment for services provided. When a company was not paid in over 120 days, it affected the business and family and everything connected to it. The 30-day payment to her was still very long. Small suppliers should be paid within 14 days. There were government departments that did that, and some municipalities paid 50% as a forward payment when one got a contract. So this is a quote from a public hearing of a real experience of a small business. Ladies and gentlemen, whilst this 30-day period is a general guide on the limits, it is clear that it is desirable that payments must in fact be done within a few days of a receipt of valid invoices to enable optimal running of businesses. And some of the challenges facing this special unit that I have alluded to relates to systemic issues, non-compliance to supply chain processes, poor financial management, contractual disagreements, lack of documented processes such as standard operating procedures, bad culture in some of our public servants, subcontracting matters, lack of capacity, to mention but a few. However, as of June 2016, the number of legitimate invoices paid after 30 days were about 17,668 to the value of 340 million rand. This figure, unfortunately, is high compared to June 2015, where 13,803 invoices to the value of 224 million rand were paid after 30 days. Of serious concern is the number of invoices older than 30 days that remain unpaid. In this regard, as of June 2016, national departments had a total of 12,870 invoices to the value of 62 million rand. And compared to June 2015, the total number of invoices older than 30 days that remain unpaid were 4,543 to the value of 410 million rand. Honorable guest, let me state upfront that this problem, though bad, is not unique to South Africa. Neither is it unique to the public sector. The private sector itself is just as guilty. Government has taken extraordinary measures to address this issue because of its adverse impact on the small business sector and the economy of South Africa at large. Our department has also been documenting good practices from departments that are doing well to share with the rest of our government. Some pockets of excellence that were identified through our monitoring programs include instances where some departments are paying suppliers within 4 days. These good practices have been shared with other government departments to encourage them to do the same. This unit has also received letters of gratitude from suppliers that were paid after its intervention. This is a demonstration of government's resolve to addressing the plight of the small business sector. The DPME is further monitoring annually via our Management Performance Assessment tool, the MPED, whether national and provincial departments have the required invoice tracking and reporting systems in place, whether investigations and appropriate actions are being initiated when invoices are not paid within the stipulated 30-day period. We have seen in many instances a consistent improvement in the setting up of these systems to enable the adherence to the 30-day period. We have also seen the pace of the improvement is, however, not adequate at this moment in time. Some testimonies of gratitude as a consequence of the strides that we are continuing to make on this 30-day payment policy signifies the fact that whilst challenges still abound, some positive results are beginning to emerge, inspiring further action. Let me quote a few examples. Tsepo Mutaung from Baberegi Consulting Engineers had this to say after the intervention, I quote, "We really appreciate what your lack of government has done for us. We are at a loss of words to tell you how thankful we are." Ofinse Ribane of ELT Pro Transcriptions had the following to say, "We are very grateful for the great service that you have done." And lastly, Simtembile Bantubani from Maibuye Africa also expresses gratitude in terms of improvement of payments. And I quote, "On behalf of my company, I would like to take this opportunity to thank the department for resolving this matter. I wish and hope that there has been lessons learned by the municipality with regards to the matter, and that no small business with regards should suffer the same fate that we did, as other small businesses cannot last for this long without payments." Close quotes. All these testimonies, ladies and gentlemen, inspire us to do even better, as we know too well the consequences of a delayed or non-payment of procured services could mean to small businesses who even face liquidation and being closed down. We are the first to concede that much is as yet to be done to ensure that all of government in all three spheres and state-owned entities must adhere to this 30-day payment policy. Whilst there are encouraging developments, we are also cognizant of the fact that others are very depressing. I'm also acutely aware that there are some of you who are gathered here this morning that have not had a good experience in your dealings with your government institutions. To you, I say, it is not government policy not to honor financial obligations, and measures are afoot to intensify our efforts in this area. This includes the review of legislative frameworks by National Treasury and the creation of debt forums by provinces in order to facilitate the sharing of good practices and addressing all those systemic issues. The DPME Special Unit, together with our partners, we are rolling out targeted support programs to the identified struggling departments. And this intervention is in a form of visits and includes inspections at identified government departments to understand, but also to address the challenges that lead to non-payment and late payment to suppliers.